The letter Kuf is the most mystical of letters. In my opinion, it relates to the concept of Das, which only appears when Malkus rises to Das, when there's a rectification in the tree. Kuf itself is spelt Resh on top, Zion as the line that drops below the Resh and that forms the Kuf. This is the only letter that drops below the line. It goes down into the Sitra Akra, into the Kalipa, which is the first letter of Kuf, is the first letter of Kalipa. It's the only letter that drops below the line. The Zadik goes down into the Kalipa and raises up the sparks, symbolized by the letter Kuf. Kuf itself, spelled out in full, is 186, which is the gematria of Makum. It's also the gematria of Yud K, Vav K, multiplied, each of its own letters, Yud times Yud, Hey times Hey, Vav times Vav, Hey times Hey, added those multiplications and it comes out to be 186. But it drops below the line. Yet it's not one of the 5 Gevurot, one of the 5 final letters. However, it's the root of those 5 final letters. It's the root of the dinim, as expressed in the name Cain, Cain, the first letter being a Kuf. Fully spelled out, the Kuf comes out to be 186. Vav, that's another 12, that's 198. And Pei, it's 199. Plus 80, it's a 279. This 279 plus 1 for the Kalal is 280, which is the root of the 5 finals. These 5 finals, except the Mem, drop below the line. That's what makes them kind of finals. There's a great secret here. That the Kuf is the Resh on top, Zion. It drops, comes out to be 207. Which is the gematria of Ein Sof, also of the word Or. The writing of the letter Kuf itself explicates and signifies Ein Sof, 207, Raz, secret, Zar, crown. The Kuf is the ultimate crown. And this crown that doesn't occur at the top of the head, where we have in yoga, the 1,000-petaled lotus. No, it occurs at the back of the head. at the medulla oblongata, at the spot where we put the tefillin on, the dalet at the back of the spot there, or the double dalet, which makes a mem, one of the final letters. This spot is also the spot of the kuf, because it's the head and then the zayin that drops down as the medulla oblongata. The zayin made with a yud and then a vav down the middle. This spot is the da'as spot. So if you want to activate da'as, rub that spot of how the skull attaches to the spine. The medulla oblongata spot, which also drops downward from there through the neck, which is another concept of das, and into between the shoulders, which is another concept of das. So the perfect example of da'as is the mother pose in yoga, the shoulder stand, each having 500, 1,000 in between, 1,000 of the two shoulders. Katef, each one 500, kaf 20, tav 400, final pay 80, 500 in each shoulder. Gives 1,000, or an aleph in between for the two, coming out of das. Das as keta, where that real aleph 1,000 stays. 1,000 worlds, the 1,000-petaled lotus as the crown. This das is found as both dalet and kuf. When you do the atbash on the 22 letters, you have a double over of 11, which will give you the fourth spot as da'as. The aleph here is crown, the aleph and tov, the bet and shin, the gimel and resh, and the dalet and kuf. Now this dalet and kuf, spelled out full, dalet 434, kuf 186, comes out to be 620, which is keta itself. The secret of das is keta. Das manifests as keta when both are in the body. And how does it manifest? When malchus rises into das, when it's rectified, when the feminine is rectified. The din of das, fully spelled out, is 496. Das, fully spelled out, is 970. Minus its kedusha of 474 comes out to be malchus 496. The din of das is malchus. So when the din rises back up into das, it's rectified. This kuf is the 19th letter, which symbolizes the moon. Related to the sun cycle, there are 19 years in that cycle. The Jew is the moon. Kaf itself is 100. 100 blessings a day. Rectified by 101, Nikhael. Adam Kadmon is 101. Even higher than the 100. The two letters that are miraculously held in place in the Ten Commandments is Samech and Mem equal 100. That's the circling of the square, the squaring of the circle. Two letters, Mem circling, final Mem circling the Samech. So Kuf, it's 100, and then it's Din is Vav Pei, 86. Elohim. Din of Kuf is Elohim. Kuf is also shown in the name Shaddai. 100, Kuf, Vav, 6, and then final Pei. Take that back. I'm allowed to erase, because all this is extemporaneous. Kuf, Dalet, in Das. Do the shoulder stand to access this. Kuf, the eyes in the back of the head. So when you close your eyes, or even when you open them, to see God, you have to see with the eyes in the back of the head. That's the emptiness. This is what we are approaching now as we bring consciousness into Das, the secret Sapphira. Bringing consciousness back into our body, opening up our back parts, opening the back of his head. The space in between, in the Kuf itself, the open eye of the needle. As we see, we'll go on. But for now, Kuf is the letter to meditate on when you want to open up to the Kalipa and the Kedusha and Kain, the higher brother than Havel. The only letter that goes below the line. Pull up those sparks. How it relates to the Aleph as being one, the Yud 10, because each one has 10 parts, and each of those 10 parts has 10 parts, gives to a Kuf 100. And when you add them all together, the 1 and the 10 and the Kuf 100, you get 111, which is the sum of Aleph itself. And that Aleph is 1,000. And that's the 1,000-petaled lotus. And that's the 1,000 of the two shoulders of 500 each. That access when you open up the back of the head as the Zion drops from the medulla oblongata through the neck and into between the shoulder blades. It opens up when you do the mother pose of the shoulder stand, and the feminine opens higher than the king pose of the headstand. And that the sixth in the back is higher than the tefillin in the front. And it's higher than the seventh spot of the yamacha. And it opens the back door. And all this by the letter Kuf. That's available in the Atbash as a spot of Da'as, along with the letter Dalet, that opens us up. How we see Ephes is through the back of the head. Higher than the Echad is the Ephes. And the Ephes as a Rosh Tivo of Ein Sof, Aleph, Pei, Samech, same letters as Aleph, Samech, Pei. And this is a great thing to open up to the zero, open up to the below, open up to the negative, open up to the opening up of the back of the head through the medulla oblongata.